She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my preview of the college football playoffs. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, for the Alabama Crimson Tide, they are starting Mac Jones at quarterback. Running back will be Najee Harris, Devonta Smith, John Mechie, and Slade Bolden are the wide receivers. Tight end Miller Forrestal, and then you get Alex Leatherwood and even Neal at the tackle position. Then guards Deontay Brown and Emil Akiyor Jr. Chris Owens will be the center of the team. Now, on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish side, you got Ian Book at the quarterback position. You got Kieran Williams at the running back position. Then Ben Showrank at the wide receiver position, along with Avery Davis and Javon McKinley. Then you get tight end Brock Wright, tackles Liam Eichenberg, Robert Hainsey, and then you get guards Aaron Banks and Tommy Kramer. And then center Zeke Correll. Very good offenses, and I'm expecting both offenses to score a lot of points this game, but I'm expecting Alabama to come up on top. I think they have the better offense than Notre Dame. I could be wrong in your opinions, but I don't mind it. But in my opinion, I think Alabama on offense is better than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now on defense, you got LaBryan Ray and Christian Barmore as the defensive ends for the Alabama Crimson Tide. DJ Dale will be the defensive tackle. Jack and Sam linebackers are Will Anderson Jr. and Christopher Allen. Will and Mike linebackers are Christian Harris and Dylan Moses. And then you get cornerbacks Josh Jobe and Patrick Surtain II. And then you got safety Daniel Wright and Jordan Battle. Now, on the opposing side of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, you got Daylane Hayes, Adetu Kumbo Ogunjadeji. Though that is the defensive ends for the Fighting Irish. Defensive tackles Miran Tagovailoa Amosa, Kurt Hinishi as the defensive tackles, Shane Simmons as Buck linebacker, and then you get Mike linebacker Drew White. Then you get Rover linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koromoa. Then you get cornerbacks Nick McLeod, Clarence Lewis, and safeties Kyle Hamilton and Sean Crawford. Honestly, very difficult names to say, to be honest. Both teams have very difficult names. More on the Fighting Irish. But regardless of their names, I think that the Fighting Irish has the advantage on defense. But is it enough to defeat Alabama? I don't know. But I do know this. Alabama isn't going to go out without a fight. And honestly, this Notre Dame defense has to prove that they are the best defense in the college football playoffs. And that might not be true, but they have to prove it because they got to win the national championship and the Rose Bowl with defense. Because whether it's Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama in the Rose Bowl, it doesn't matter. All of them will beat you with their offenses if you don't stop them dead in their tracks. But I think that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish's defense is good enough to stop all three of the offenses. But is it enough to stop them? Maybe. But as far as I can see, I do think that Notre Dame has the advantage on defense. Now, what is my prediction for this game? I am predicting Alabama wins 34-28. I think that Alabama has the better offense, and that offense is going to lead them to victory over the Fighting Irish. But the Irish are definitely going to be there, kind of. But I do, in fact, believe in the end, Alabama will come up clutch and will head to the national title. Now, let's get on to the Sugar Bowl between the Clemson Tigers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, on the Clemson Tigers, you got quarterback Trevor Lawrence, running back Travis Etienne. You got wide receiver Cornell Powell, Amari Rogers, and E.J. Williams. Tight end Braden Galloway. Jackson Carman as the tackle along with Jordan McFadden. Matt Bockhorst as the guard with Will Putman and center Kate Stewart. Now, very good offense from Clemson, and Trevor Lawrence is an unstoppable, most likely first overall pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, but he is up against this Ohio State offense led by Justin Fields at quarterback, running back Master Teague III at running back, Chris O'Vale and Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson at wide receiver, tight end Luke Farrell, and then you get tackles Thayer Moonford and Nicholas Petit Ferrer. And then you get guards Harry Miller and Wyatt Davis. Then you get center Josh Myers. And even though I love both Fields and Lawrence, by the way, these two quarterbacks will be going to the NFL draft most likely this year, and honestly be the first and second quarterbacks off the board. But enough of the NFL, because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about who's the best offense, and I'm thinking Clemson. Why Clemson? Because I honestly think Clemson, even though they lost. Now on defense, you got defensive ends KJ Henry and Miles Murphy. Defensive tackles Tyler Davis and Brian Brees. Will linebacker Balin Spector and Mike linebacker James Skalinski. And nickelback Mike Jones Jr., cornerbacks Deonrian Kendrick, Sheridan Jones, and safeties Nolan Turner and Landon Sanders. Now, on the Ohio State side, you got defensive ends Jonathan Cooper and Tyler Friday. Defensive tackles Tommy Tsoiga and Antoine Jackson. Then you got Will linebacker Pete Warner. Then you get Sam linebacker Brandon Browning. Then you get Mike linebacker Toof Borland. Then you get corners Sean Wade, Marcus Williamson, Savane Banks, and safety Marcus Hooker on Ohio State. Now, I think that the team that definitely has the best defense, honestly, will be the Clemson Tigers. I think Clemson has the way better defense than Ohio State. Even though Ohio State has some very good defenders and a very good defense. But I don't think it's enough, as the Clemson Tigers, I believe, have the better defense. Now, what is my prediction for the Sugar Bowl? I'm going to say the Sugar Bowl ends 24-18 for the Clemson Tigers. And you get the number 1 and number 2 teams of the nation go to the national title. Now, this is a very close game in my opinion. Both games are actually very close in my opinion. But I think that the most interesting one will be Clemson versus Ohio State. Most likely because of Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. But I believe that this game is going to be very, very interesting to watch. So keep an eye out on not only the Alabama versus Notre Dame game, which is of course a playoff game, along with Clemson versus Ohio State. But I'm just saying, the Sugar Bowl is the one that I think is going to be the most interesting. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, who do you think is going to win? Who is the best player on each team? And who do you want to see win the national championship? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.